everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Spirit Seers Cocktail Corner. Today I have for you a classic. This is the Corpse Reviver number 2. Now there are several varieties of the Corpse Reviver. This one's kind of my favorite, so without further ado, let's get started. The first things that we're going to need is, this is a shaken cocktail, so we will need a set of tins, and we need a coupe glass, which I've got stashed under here. So this cocktail starts out with an absinthe rinsed glass. Now, you could use an atomizer to do this. I'm not a huge fan of atomizers. They do have their place, but I think if you're just going to do a rinse, it's perfectly acceptable just to take your glass and tip just a little bit of that spirit into the glass. This is our favorite absinthe, by the way. This is Holy Stone Distilling's absinthe. This is made in Salt Lake City. It's the only absinthe that's ever been made here in Utah. And so what I'm doing is just kind of rolling it around the glass to coat the entire thing. Now, if you have a little bit left over, that's okay. You can either leave it in, gives just a little bit more flavor from that absinthe to the cocktail. You can dump it out, which we generally discourage around here, or you can kind of just toss it back, and that's okay too. But I got just about the right pour. There's really no absinthe left in the bottom of the glass. It's just coated the outside, so we'll go ahead and move on. So the next thing that we're going to do is 3/4 ounce of each of these. This is a very easy cocktail because it's equal parts. So we're going to start that off with gin. This is one of my favorite gins. This is Citadel. It's from France. But it's a really nice dry gin. It has a lot more botanicals in it than just your standard kind of juniper and everything. I believe 18 other botanicals besides the juniper in this bottle. And we've been really happy with it. It's also relatively available. So 3/4 ounce, and as always, we're going to build in our small tin. So here's our gin. Now we're going to do 3/4 ounce of Lillet Blanc. Now Lillet Blanc, also fairly widely available. It's a fortified white wine. Looks like we're about out of this bottle. We have our 3/4 ounce of Lillet Blanc. And we need 3/4 ounce of orange liqueur. And my favorite orange liqueur to use is Pierre Ferrand Dry Curacao. It's not as sweet as something like Grand Marnier. In fact, it's a little bit more bitter. And that goes really well with gin. 3/4 ounce of our Pierre Ferrand Dry Curacao. And then we're going to finish off with 3/4 ounce of lemon juice. Okay. Now we're just going to shake this with ice, and then we will strain it into our absinthe rinsed glass. Shake away. Maybe. Really sealed it up tight today. Okay, we're going to grab our strainer. Now, in these strained cocktails, there's a couple ways to do this. Number one is a single strain. If you're going to single strain it, I would recommend getting a Hawthorne strainer with a really nice tight coil. For that, we like Pina. They're not a sponsor, but we just really like their barware, so we buy it anyway. Or if you have a loose coil, then you should always mesh strain. I like to do both anyway. just to keep those distracting ice chunks out. Just like that. And there we have the Corpse Reviver number 2. Let's give it a taste. This is such a refreshing drink. You get just hints of that kind of earthy and herbal that comes in from the absinthe. You don't get the anise, which is good for a lot of people. Anise is very much an acquired taste, and it's very polarizing. People either love it or they hate it. This drink, you just get that nice earthiness. That combines really well with the very citrus forward notes from the dry curacao and then the fresh lemon. It combines with the gin just to bring everything, I won't say brings it way up, but it's just a very bright drink. It has a nice, smooth, drying mouthfeel. This really is perfect, pardon me, for like a brunch drink. Or, you know, on a particularly warm day. The Corpse Reviver initially was conceived pre-prohibition as a kind of hangover cure. You would come in and drink something to revive your corpse. You know, the saying was that you would drink one to bring the corpse back to life, and then another 2 to put it back down again. And that's pretty true. I mean, mostly this drink is pure spirit. You do have the 3/4 ounce lemon, but all the rest of it has alcohol in some way, shape, or form. So if you weren't careful, this could get away from you. But it is very crisp, very refreshing, and one of my go-to drinks anytime we were talking about brunch or just a really hot day. So cheers. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, click below to subscribe and make sure you don't miss any of our awesome videos. There's a link to our Teespring down there as well. Also follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Those links usually pop up right down here. So we'll see you next time, and keep the spirit.